Yes, we can.
Everything's looking good. Okay. Hi everyone.
Okay, we plan like 20 minutes presentation and 10-minute Q&A. Okay?
Yeah, I have my stopwatch.
Okay, back.
So thank you everyone for attending this conference, and thank you for having me. I'm really happy to come and tell you what we are doing. We are basically a young Icelandic company focusing on environmental technologies and recycling and other relevant affairs. I want to show you one slide to begin with. This is something that I show quite frequently. If we just look at Iceland, like I'm going to start with a bit of a backstory here before we dive a bit deeper in. Basically, Iceland has been falling behind in the development and improvements of our waste management system, and it is basically caused because we have a fairly low recycling rate. We have been landfilling a lot of our solid waste, while other countries, especially the ones that we compare ourselves with in the Nordics, they are improving. So I sometimes use this slide here to represent how things are going here, although this is not taken in Iceland, but we just generate a lot of trash, and we haven't been doing enough to improve. And we've known for a long time that new regulations and more strict criteria are coming, but we still haven't been able to really move forward in the right direction. So that's kind of why Pure North was founded, basically on trying to solve one part of this problem. So if we look at what we are in short, we take plastic waste and we use geothermal energy and waste heat to basically make the greenest mechanical plastic recycling process in the world. That is the foundation of the company. This is where it all started. We have a base in Akureyri in the south of Iceland, where we actually have geothermal steam that comes via a pipeline into our factory, and we use that to power various processes in our recycling plant. And this here is basically what happens. You see the big pile of agricultural film. This is one of our main raw materials that we used in our process. Basically, we recycle this plastic, and what comes out there, you can see my hand there with these black plastic or dark gray plastic pellets. This is the product that we make. So we take what is dirty and filthy and smelly and considered as waste, and we process it in-house to make a valuable product. And we have end of waste confirmation from the Environmental Agency of Iceland saying that as soon as waste has been processed through our plant, it is no longer considered as waste in terms of laws and regulations. So we're actually taking something that, like you say, we're creating value from nothing almost. And how much actually do we recycle? Well, last year we recycled 1,200 tons of plastic, and this year we aim to go even higher, 1,500, 1,800 tons. And if you look at these numbers in terms of the total plastic that is recycled in Iceland today, that means what is recycled by us and what is then shipped abroad for further sorting and then recycling, we have a market share of around 40%. So our small company in Akureyri is already recycling 40% of the plastic packaging that is sent to recycling from Iceland every year. And our capacity is actually such that we could theoretically recycle everything. But The challenge that we still face, both us as a company and Icelandic society, is the sorting. We still need to sort everything much better than today. Here we see an environmental product declaration that we made for our process. Basically, it's a holistic analysis of the environmental footprint. And basically, when comparing our process with what happens in Europe on average, we have an 80% lower carbon footprint than the EU average. So we've even gone so far and calculated that it actually makes sense to import plastic waste to Iceland, recycle it here, and then export it again. And the total carbon footprint of that, with the logistics and everything, is still lower than recycling it abroad. So we believe that that we could actually recycle a lot more, both in terms of plastics and other materials, and that could have a significant climate impact if we would actually recycle more locally. We've even taken steps further in terms of working with local municipalities and companies. This is just one example where we were working with municipalities in rural Iceland, where they collect the agricultural film directly from the farmers. They bring it to us, and we have a financial incentive that actually trickles down all the way to the farmer. We recycle the plastic, we make the raw product, and then we initiated a 2-year development project where we were trying to find a product that we could actually make from the raw material that could go back into the agricultural industry. And what we found was we were able to make a fencing pole that is actually used today. We have a lot of fencing poles from virgin plastic that are in use today. So we thought that we would try to make one from recycled plastic, like 100% recycled plastic, which was possible. And you can see the end product there on the right. So this is basically how we are working. We are trying to close the loop. This is just an example of how the circular economy can and should actually work, where you collaborate with the whole value chain and you're able to create something that can go back into that specific value chain as a new product. And thus we're avoiding import and all the emissions related to processing and producing new products, like from virgin plastic, for example. This could even replace timber fencing poles. And we've calculated that the environmental footprint is much lower from these fence poles from recycled plastics than timber poles, and they actually last much longer. If we then go to check some statistics on the household waste in Iceland, referring back to the status, how we've actually been dropping down the list, we're not actually improving as we should. So on average, for the past years, we've been recycling 26 to 28% of household municipal solid waste. This needs to increase twofold. Basically, like tomorrow, like 2025 will reach us tomorrow. So how are we going to do that? We basically don't have, there's no plan on how we're actually going to do this. And we've actually known these numbers for many years, that we need to reach these numbers, but unfortunately we haven't been doing enough to actually build up the infrastructure and the processes and the incentives, both for companies and municipalities and individuals, to actually reach these goals. We have an idea that we've been working on over the past year, which is actually a waste sorting facility for municipalities, for the public, where people can actually bring their materials. We think of it actually as a shopping trip that's just inverted. Basically, you go to the store, you do all the work, you drive your car, and you you go and collect all your products, all your groceries. You go home, and you end up with all these packaging materials, with the plastic, with the paper, with the cardboard, and so forth, with the metals, with the glass. And what do you do with it? You put it in a bin, and it's collected by some waste management company that takes it away and sorts it and so forth. But we think, why can't the user just do it himself and then be actually benefited from it? Why can't we just put a sorting station right by the grocery store? You bring your packaging, your recyclable materials, deliver them back, and then for example, you get a credit that you can go to the grocery store for and buy your new groceries again. So this is how we see. This is a solution that we think is well, probably not won't fit everywhere, but we're already in discussion with some municipalities that are really interested in these solutions, and we've been thinking quite a lot about how this could actually work. And we believe that there are basically all aspects are there, whether it's environmental, whether it's business, whether it's the recycling ratios and the need to reach these goals. This is a solution that we really believe in, and we've already put up a test case in our offices here in Reykjavik. Basically, this concept is called auðlind. Auðlind means actually resource, and the name is because we believe that waste shouldn't be called waste. It's resources. It's raw materials. So here in auðlind, in our office space in Gróska in Reykjavik, this is where we are actually put up like a showcase and development project where we're sorting, where we're giving the correct information, where we're weighing all the material, logging it from each company that's coming here, really controlling and managing everything that is coming in. And this is something that we want then to bring out to the public. Just an example of what the machinery that needs to be then located. I mean, you need to process waste, make it ready for handling and transport. This is, for example, an EPS compactor where you put like styrofoam boxes into the machine. It has a really small footprint, only a area of maybe 2 square meters that it needs, but it has a 50-fold volume reduction. So basically, what needed 50 containers now only needs 1. So this is one very crucial step in waste management for the circular economy, is the efficiency in logistics. This is one example. And how do people then actually know how to sort, and how do we get everything? How do we get the incentive and so forth? That's through the PureNorth app. So basically, this is basically Iceland's first sorting app, where you can actually scan the barcodes on the product, and we have a database behind there that we're actually building up now, just through crowdsourcing, where people can actually tell us what type of product, what type of packaging is this, how good is it to dismantle, is the information clear, and so forth. So this is how you will be able to actually pre-sort before you come to the station. You come in, you authenticate, you weigh your materials, and you get paid, or you get the credit, you get the incentive. That's where we're actually going to go, and then you can use the app at home. I mean, we already know that people are willing to recycle. They want to do better, but they don't know how to. And this is our suggestion. This is our tool that we're making, and we're putting a lot of effort into making, that we want also to be able to tell you where your products and what happens to it. And that's the issue of traceability, which and transparency, that we think that waste management up until this moment has been lacking. So this is one tool to actually improve that. And then maybe some Icelandic lessons. Maybe this is like Eyjafjallajökull, the glacier in the south in 2011. if I would have the English speaking people try to pronounce the title, but I'm not going to do that. But basically this graph is a screenshot from the report from the Ministry of Environment, Energy and Climate from 2 years ago, where they're publishing or presenting how much organic waste has been going into landfill over the past years. And the dark blue lines are the limits. Like how much can we actually landfill? And like you see, the light blue line is way, way above how much we can actually landfill. So like you see, I'm going a bit back and forth. We're talking about plastics and then sorting and apps, but I'm not kidding. The Pure Not basically is almost everywhere, although we're a very, very small company. But this is actually related to one of the solutions that we are bringing onto the market. Sorry, I went a bit ahead of myself. I wanted to show you this slide actually first, as basically a continuation of the one before. But we are landfilling organic household waste of around 70 to 80,000 tons per year, and we already needed to be below 25,000 tons per year. So there's a huge reduction that needs to happen, but the infrastructure isn't here. Well, we have been actually building up infrastructure, for example, in Reykjavik with a new biogas and compost plant in Álfsnes, but we're still trying to get that up and running, and the separate collection is just starting now. So it's nothing's going to happen overnight, but and that's like one huge project that costs a lot of money. But what about decentralized? Has anybody thought about it? Yes, a lot of people have been thinking about it, but maybe the right solutions haven't been there. But we are now implementing a new solution, new technique here in Iceland, which is actually, my personal opinion is amazing. It's basically so thermoacidic composting in 24 hours, which then ends with a sterilization. So you get a pure, safe product out from this process with like a 90% volume reduction in a short amount of time. And this can actually be implemented for small companies, for even households, and up to the scale of municipalities. And we have these machines here in Reykjavik operating, and we're taking all the organic waste that is being generated here in this big office building in Reykjavik, and we're composting it on site. We're actually making soil improvement, or almost you could call it fertilizer, from this material. So it's not being shipped away, it's not being put to landfill, it's actually we're making, again, something valuable from the waste. And these are machines that are readily available. The technique is there, it's just implementation. And this is actually one thing that we believe that is lacking in Icelandic waste management. We talk a lot, but we don't do. We don't need to reinvent the wheel every day. It's already been invented. We just need to find the correct solutions and place them where they have the biggest benefit. And on a bit of a side note, we are working with a lot of Iceland's largest companies, helping them in their own waste management. So that's another impact that we're having. We're minimizing plastic use. We're improving even drainage systems, finding more friendly cleaning products, technical solutions, analyzing the pathways of the current waste today, helping these companies reach their ambitious goals. Almost every single company in Iceland has put forth a goal in how much they want to recycle, how much they want to sort. And when we help them, when we analyze, when we dig deep and we see, okay, where are you today? Most companies are way off and they have no idea how to actually improve. And that's where we come in. We are teaching, we are implementing technical solutions, we are helping them consult with their suppliers and so forth. So waste has been a black box for a long time that we're basically just opening and starting to dismantle. It needs to be transparent if we want to reach the goals, both looking at Iceland and just globally, because waste management is basically a universal problem. but I'm just reaching my time limit here. So on a positive end note, we believe that we are actually taking the lead, although a very, very small company. We're taking the lead in creating a circular economy.